I am in the comments.
Okay,
Oh,
so we're going to get started because today is actually a workshop and we're going to go through heavy duty
let me know if you
information.
guys
And I
can
want to
hear it
be able to
okay.
provide you so much value today. So, today's workshop is on nailing your niche. And this really has a lot to do with refining the people that you want to target. It's important to know how to nail your niche if you're just getting started out, because it makes the entire process so much more easier when you're starting out. And that's who we're really trying to speak to today, people who are starting out or trying to refine the start of their handmade business. Okay. So, welcome. This is a free masterclass all about nailing your niche. And even if you don't have a business background, and you're just starting out or have been at it for a while, you're not sure how to turn likes and followers into real sales, I am absolutely thrilled that you're here and taking your steps towards handmade success. So you may already know me by now. I'm Karen Viloria-Miguel, owner and founder of Canada Bliss. And I'm so excited that you are all here. I just want to make sure that each and every one of you are in the right place. So, you are in the right place if you want to create a handmade business that you love, that earns income selling items you want to make, to get clear on what activities in your business really lead to your sales, to your ideal customer, and making real sales and increasing your sales, starting out in business and really growing your business a little bit easier. Okay. So, you might have tried selling some of your items. Maybe you're stuck in where you are selling your items and who your customers are, and you want to figure out how exactly you're supposed to appeal to them. You've probably watched a ton of YouTube videos. You've consumed what you can out of a mishmash of information from different places, and that it may or may not have helped you up until this point. Well, this is a great place to be, and you are ready to work smarter and not harder, or with the same effort, but just a lot smarter with the way that you operate. Now, this class is not for you if you're looking for someone else to do work for you, because building a business, yes, it is a lot of hard work, a little bit of grunt work on your side, but that's one of the best parts of it, because truly when you build a business that you love, you don't mind doing the work, because the work is fun when you love what you're making and doing. And if you're interested more in aimlessly gaining followers and likes and not converting engagement into real sales, and I've heard this, I don't think anyone really purposely does this, but a lot of people feel like they are just aimlessly posting and just like, how do you get sales out of this? Like, here I am posting on Instagram. Like, what is this? How do we do this? So, anyway, we can demystify some of this, because I want you to be able to stop being on a vicious cycle of no outcomes. This is not suited for you if you don't want to take action to improve. But I mean, you're all here already, so I think you guys do want to take action. So my commitment to you for the next, usually my lives go about 60 minutes or so, and I'll share with you strategies that have worked for me and other small business owners and other artisans and hand makers that I've helped. And you will gain clarity on what steps you need to take to build a successful handmade business, starting with your niche. And I'll share my knowledge and experience to help those with a great attitude who want to take action and be successful. So, to maximize your learning today, let's close all other tabs on your computer and phone to avoid interruption, or your tablet if you're on a tablet. Reduce your distractions and silence your phone or put it on vibrate for a short period of time, just so you can really drink all of this in. And make sure all the people who might need you are safe, and that they know that you need this little bit of time to have a little fun and learn some things and absorb all the information. Also, keep your mind open and patient and receptive to all the possibilities of your success, because you could totally be successful. I've seen it and I've also experienced it. This is an interactive workshop today, so have fun and participate. Stay mentally with me and just drink in all today's learnings. And don't forget to stay to the end, because I will have Q&As for you guys. So be sure you stay to the end. So friends, if you don't know me already, it looks like some of you are familiar with me, but if you don't already know me, I'm Karen. And if you found me on YouTube, you might have an idea what to expect if this is your first time joining me. And I like to be informative and help people and also have a bit of fun. So I am Karen, and I'm a hand maker, content marketer, business strategist, and coach. And I help small business hand makers and entrepreneurs turn their craft into currency with effective strategies, processes, and tools so they can grow a revenue generating business that they love from proven methods. And I am trained with a degree and diploma in human resources business and marketing. I have a diploma in marketing. And in my early corporate years, I did work in financial and communication industry, marketing and selling. And also prior to starting my own handmade business and coaching, I worked for a number of years in human resources, over 15. And I worked in different sectors from manufacturing to education, engineering, both private and public. And my career spans over 20 years. So I've had a lot of passion helping people in their work and education and occupation in both work and in my college university days where I would sometimes act as peer tutor for other students in marketing. And I worked in my career center too, helping people pick degrees and occupations that would help them after graduation. So I've always had a passion for doing things like this. Even to this day, I love mentoring students, small business owners, entrepreneurs, and people in the workforce who want help navigating in their occupation. And with literally no previous retail experience, in 2013, started selling my handmade crochet items online, and I grew my business. And by 2014, I was in retail stores across Canada. I was in US countries and in Europe, and already on the heads of customers and many celebrities worldwide. By January 2015, my handmade luxury hats are being worn by retail customers, retail stores, and bricks and mortar boutiques. So now let me ask you, drop in the comments which picture you think got me the most sales the first time. Is it the one on the left or the one on the right? And so please comment if you think it was a picture on the left or the right. So this yellow one or the one with the white background that ended up getting me more sales after I posted it. So tell me right or left. So go ahead and put into the answer where you think. So Dee Dee thinks it was the one on the right. Who else? The right. Oh, yes. Crochet Life. Thank you. Angela says the right. Hello, Angela. It's good to see you. And then who else? Let's see. We have, where did you hear about that group? So Sylvia says the one on the left. Precious says the one on the left. So we got a kind of a little bit of a split here. So basically, I'm going to continue on with the taped version of our workshop, and I'm going to stay in there. Guys, I know some of you, RuPaul, with him on the right, Juan. So I know the font is for some of you is small, and you've been commenting on that, but just if you can increase the resolution or turn on the closed captioning so then you can see the words below, or VJ recommended pressing control. I think it was the plus sign. So just go ahead and do that. Now we're going to continue on with the presentation. Why? So go ahead and drop in the comments which of these two pictures that I posted on my social media back in the day got me the most sales. And the answer is, the truth is, it was the one on the left. It is because I spent more time day in and day out focusing on the activities that drove sales. In this picture, I'm at a trade show and I'm focusing on the activities. It doesn't have to do always with viral content. You get viral content every once in a while when you maybe have a hat on celebrities, you have a pattern that takes off. But the true things that get you the most sales is when you do the activities that you need to, that make the most sense and drive sales on a daily basis. So overnight success takes years of perseverance and dedication to build. And it's not about one-time viral videos or pictures you post. It's about what you do every day and the solid foundations you build your processes around and build your business. And you need to learn from mistakes and build on results that work. So why am I here today? Well, I was enjoying the momentum when my business took off, but I couldn't help but notice that other artisans and handmakers were struggling with some of the marketing and the business steps for their business. So with my passion for wanting to help people, I mean, I started my YouTube channel, but what I wanted to do was I set out to share what I've learned so that you can be here today and learn what I had gained from the experience. I've always cared about helping people find meaningful occupations and business success. And as a handmaking entrepreneur with a limited budget when I first started out, I knew the importance of being efficient and effective with my choices and all of my resources. I mean, you have to be smart with where you spend things, or you won't be able to continue running your business. And I want you to avoid these key mistakes and start with a key foundational knowledge to build the best business that is right for you without hassles that I struggled through. So today I'm going to demystify the foundations of a solid business plan. And that foundational key to business is defining your niche. So some of you may be sick about hearing niching down, or maybe this is the first time you're hearing what it is. But first of all, let's make sure that we do know what a niche is, okay? Is a niche even what you think it is? Let's give it a try. Put in the comments. We're also going to cover why it's important. And we're also going to tackle the mistakes when defining, mistakes that get people stuck, and how the information is used. Okay, so here's how we're going to do it. So let's just jump right in. The first mistake when you're clarifying your niche is you think you're clear on what a niche is. So let's give it a try. Tell me which one is an example of a niche: specialty handmade decor or kitchen accessories? Or is it C, all of the above? Or is it D, none of the above? Do you feel like you're back in school? Anyway, drop in the comments. Is it A, B, C, or D, what you think an example of a niche is? Okay, folks, A, B, C, or D, what is an example of a niche? Is it A, especially handmade home decor, B, kitchen accessories, C, all of the above, D, none of the above? Go ahead and drop it in the comments. And let's see how sharp you are at your niching skills. So then we can put and try and play along with us here. Okay, let's see what we've got. Angela says D. Crochet Life and Stuff with Deborah, D. Sylvia, D. BJ, C. Okay, we've got a good spread. Juan says C. Melanie says D. Mercedes says B. Going off the charts here, we're going like we're having like a good spread of like responses. D. Dee says C. Let's see. Killa B, C. Love your name. Gloria J. Bowman says D. Precious says D. And let's see. Oh, thank you. I guess you meant C, right? So, and Creative Care Corner, D. Mercedes, C. Okay, after Genesis' response, we're going to close that off and we're going to continue on and see if your response was correct. Let's check it out and resume. Okay. Are you curious? The answer is D, none of the above. Are you surprised? You're like, what? Okay, blowing your mind. So how are none of these two choices correct? How are they wrong? Because they are too broad. Specialty handmade home decor falls in retail sectors of a product, but it's not a niche. People get this confused. It's what's being sold. It is what is being sold. It's not defining who it's segmented towards. Okay, so just know that a niche is not a retail sector. Okay, is it? You're thinking, okay, it's kitchen accessories, isn't it? Nope, it's not. Kitchen accessories, what is that? That's a retail category of something you sell, but it's not your niche. So again, let's get more specific. It gets you more specific in describing what product you might be selling, but it doesn't specify at all who it's targeting. So what is it then? Niche is a specialized segment or group that has specific interests, norms, values, and beliefs. It's a specialized segment or group that defines who you're targeting, not what you're targeting. And why does this matter? It matters if you make the mistake of not properly niching. Okay, so what happens if you make the mistake where you don't quite clearly understand a niche? Well, you could aimlessly end up making items that you won't sell or won't create you any income. You could already be making things and tried selling them, and now you're stuck with stock that's not moving and wondering why. I thought I have a niche. I sell kitchen accessories. It's because that's not your niche, it's what you sell. And then you will get frustrated. You're like, I niched down. How come I knew I was selling kitchen accessories, but now I'm not selling? And you get frustrated and you'll give up and you'll spend a lot of time and resources and supplies that lead to no sales. And I don't want that for you guys. I want you to make sales. So here's how we fix this. You avoid this mistake by defining a niche that is a specialized segment or group that have specific interests, norms, values, and beliefs. You define who you are speaking with and what they care about, okay? Much different than saying I can sell kitchen accessories or that I'm in the category of yarn or whatever. You research and you know their interests, their hobbies, their passions, their values and beliefs. You know where they hang out, you know why they shop and where they shop. You know how to speak to them because you know all of these things about them. And because of this, you know their buying behavior. And because of knowing their buying behavior, you can stop spending time, money, and resources on pointless things that don't make you money in business, like constantly posting things that don't get you anywhere with your business. So the second mistake that you can avoid is people get stuck in the niching stage. So you get stuck there. It might be because you might be still trying to niche in the wrong area, like in a sector, or your objective in defining your niche isn't quite right. So how do you avoid this? This happens if you're making this mistake. You're trying to redefine your niche with little to no research and testing. You're saying you have a niche and you have little to no proof that your product idea has any appeal to your customer. And you can't fill in the blank, this blank statement. I make this for who, that, what do they do? So that he, she, or they can, what is it that you think that they are going to get from, or solution or pain point do they get out of the product that you sell? So you're defining a lot more than what it is you sell and what you're making. So we'll move forward. So what happens when you make it right? You know you have a defined niche if a product that you are adding to your collection or shop gets a response. You can make decisions with confidence because it's aligned with the niche that you have defined. Like, you know that, okay, no, I'm not buying that supply. I don't need to spend that money right now. It's easier to know when you can make a decision, and you know when to say no to adding certain products in your product line, thereby increasing your overall efficiency and decision making in your business and saving you valuable costs and resources, because then you'll have more resources to spend specifically on the things that get you directly to your niche, appealing directly to them. Now, I admit, I learned this mistake because early on, I fell into the trap of somebody suggesting, oh, you should do this. And if you watched my mistakes video, you might, but that's one mistake I made, but this is a whole nother one. I learned from a lot of mistakes that I've made, but I added product categories to my line that didn't make sense to my niche. I added, I think it was fast fashion, like beanies, to my collection or line. And then you know what happened? When buyers came to look at my line, even though they were saying you should sell these cheaper versions of knits and blah, 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 I did. Nobody bought them because they all expected a certain level of quality, look, and style that when it came to me trying to sell them, that wasn't they knew that they could pick something like that from, like, you know, they could pick it up from, I don't know, H&M or Walmart or whatever. But if they wanted the handmade texture, which now side by side was comparable to the other things I sold, they didn't want it. It wasn't for my niche. So anyway, I made that mistake in spending money on resources that that didn't work for me. I don't want that for you guys. So there's more. Let's keep going. You work from proven methods to research, define, and test your hunches. You test, analyze, and observe, and then double down on what is working. What are the benefits? You can better target your customer communication and your social media because you know that the images that you're creating appeal to them. The communication is sharp. It speaks to the right people. It's using the language that they use, not in terms of language like foreign language or Italian, Spanish, French. It's you're using some of the jargon that they use, nuances and things like that. You believe in yourself and your product and your niche and your category organically. Your category develops and your presence in that category will automatically develop once you have your niche because you are more razor sharp targeted to it. And you build a brand and image and personality that makes you more easily definable and identifiable in your category. So you get even better traction in your category or your sector by niching towards who you're trying to speak to, because you're establishing yourself in the way that you communicate and the image of your brand. And you create brand loyalty and familiarity from customers, followers, and fans on all your platforms and stores because you reliably make the same kind of things that appeal to that group of people. They know that the next thing that you put out, they'll probably buy. And that's what happens with customers, for example, who buy from me because now they have collections of hats. They don't need to, they want more than one. They want to know what's coming out next and they'll tried and true, they'll buy it, right? So anyway, the third mistake in niching is that you don't tie your niche to a call to action. So some people, they're like, okay, I got my niche. I know that I'm targeting new moms or moms about to give birth and have a baby or whatever. If you don't tie the communication directly to that audience that you're targeting to a call to action, then mistakes happen. So, for example, what mistakes happen if you don't tie your niche to your call to action and just you end up kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall? Well, you can't answer the question clearly. What is the purpose of me posting that Instagram post, email, picture, promotion, collaboration? If you can't answer that question, then you don't have a call to action. You don't know why you're doing that business activity. And by not having a niche, you have a hard time defining what activity or what action you want to elicit from your customer or your viewer in order to lead to a sale. Okay. So once you get good at this idea of who your niche is and what a call to action is, you're like, oh my gosh, she's talking about a call to action. I may not have a call to action because I don't know what it is. Well, chances are you might not be calling people to do an action because you're not tying your niche to it. The problem with not having a call to action is that you're not asking for a sale or you don't plan business communications and activities that lead to sales. So, what is a call to action? So, let's define that. It is typically a marketing term used to describe an activity or thing that has an intention of eliciting a desired outcome. What outcome do we want? We want people to buy our handmade things, the things that we believe that they're going to get good use out of it. We want that new mom to use that baby ring that we know is the best materials that they can possibly get for a baby ring. So, for example, social media posts that is intended to get people to buy products and services for you. That is exactly what a call to action is. We're trying to elicit a desired income. Do you want them to click on the post? Do you want them to go to your profile and shop your shop? Do you want them to read the latest blog that you just did, that the blog that guides them towards buying that pattern that you wrote or that item that you made or your whole new line? So what happens when you get it right? Well, when you have a defined niche with a clear call to action, you end up with systems that lead to generating a sales or building brand loyalty. And brand loyalty is wonderful because not only do you get new customers, you get repeat customers and the sales and revenue compounds. You can determine with confidence the methods that get the best response from your audience, and you know when to say no to certain collaborations, giveaways, and promotional efforts that don't meet your overall business objective and buying supplies. For example, I actually turned down, and it was with a fairly big Hollywood celebrity. And the deal just didn't suit the benefit of my business in the long run and what I wanted to do in the long run. And if you don't know who your niche is, what your business objective is in the long run, you will accept everything. So, and then you'll waste a lot of time doing things that really never benefited yourself and your business. So you don't want to make those kind of mistakes early on, or it could put you out of business. And once again, you hone in on the activities that are most efficient and effective in your business. Whew. So stick with me, friends. Okay. There's 3 steps to niching for success. And these are the steps and methods I use in my Handmade Sales Success Academy. So how do we do this? Let me show you 3 steps for niching for success. I teach in the Academy, and it involves identifying. You need to identify your niche. You need to ignite the niche, and then you need to iterate. So what do each of these things mean? We're getting into the fun stuff now. Identify. Before you start posting social media, creating listings, accepting collaborations, giveaways, everything, creating newsletters, content, whatever, you need to identify with clarity the what, and most importantly, the who you want to sell to and what you want to sell. Truly successful handmakers and sellers know that if you build an audience that is not interested in what you sell, your efforts are wasted. You start with defining your niche so that you can have a clear idea of the direction and the image that you want to establish. And it's so much, I mean, if you put the legwork into identifying your clear niche, oh my gosh, decision making is so much easier. So much easier. I'll show you one of the handmakers who has used this method. Meet Joy, lovely Joy. After clarifying her niche and how to build systems to communicate and sell, Joy from Oto Joy Cakes had a great weekend. Here she posted to me, Karen, after following your advice, I took over $2,000 in orders in one weekend. Thank you so much for your help. Now, she applied a lot of the methods I teach in my system and the sales funnels that we build, and I'll tell you more about that afterwards. But this is some results that one of my alumni got. And when you know your niche, you can concentrate your business efforts on activities that generate the most revenue and get great sales results. I mean, she did this in a weekend. It was lovely. Ignite. What do you mean by ignite? Well, you build on focused activities and communication resources towards proven methods that reach the right people organically. As a result, you end up building efficiencies in your business where you're not wasting time or money and guessing if you're doing the wrong things. Back in the day, Joy she was throwing, spaghetti at the wall, and she was tired of it. She wanted specifics on how to do things, and we targeted her methods of selling to specific things. She narrowed her product line down, and she was able to specifically target the best bang for her buck for her clientele. And that's how she was able to get such a good portion of income over just these short periods of time over like weekend shows. So, and then you iterate. What do we mean by that? Well, you could be a veteran or you could be just starting out, but basically you build and repeat what's working. So you repeat reliable practices for your business and reiterate practices that work over and over again. You get rid of the stuff that doesn't work. If that flyer you sent to an entire neighborhood didn't get you any sales, you don't do that anymore. You don't do that. If you did a giveaway with, a basketball team, but you got no clients or whatever, maybe that group isn't your niche. Maybe you need to do a promotion with like a baby photographer if you make baby stuff, So you just have to kind of figure out what it is, who you need to speak to, and then how to appeal to them. Let's take another familiar handmaker, one of my students and alumni using my Handmade Academy Accelerator methods. And she said, Alicia from Little John's Yarn says, this has been life-changing. My sales are steadily growing. Now, as you know, Joy's example, she was fairly new in a custom gourmet cakes and that sort of thing. But Alicia, we know she's established in the crochet community, and yet she had applied my methods to being able to continually grow and build on things in her business that would generate her more sales. So I want you guys to be as successful as these people, or even better. Or yes, that's what I always wish for people. Friends, you can probably tell by now that there's so many reasons why nailing your niche is so important to the big picture of your business, whether you're starting out thinking about your business or you're a veteran. It sets the foundation for strong, sound business practices. It helps you establish the right processes and systems for efficiency. It saves you time, money, and resources. And who doesn't want to save some time, money, and resources? So, and it provides more opportunity to continue growing and expanding the business because you've established focus and you spend the right time, resources, and money you've saved in the right activities that work. So, what do most people do? Most people try to copy what successful handmaker sellers are doing, but don't have a good idea of what the real objective is and are hoping to get lucky in finding out. So, and most people who seek out information choose the wrong examples, and they haven't achieved proven results in the areas that they want to succeed. They follow maybe bad examples. And some people are wasting their time doing random tasks, hoping it'll get them some kind of results. And most people are repeating things that don't work, hoping to get the results and spend less time and money and resources doing this. And we know that that's kind of like an insane way to go about like doing things. If things aren't working and just you continue to guess and hope that you'll spend less money and resources, it doesn't work. So what do successful people do? Well, they realize that pieces are missing in their business and processes, and they seek out to learn them. And they know that they can't count on platforms that don't own social media and drive sales. That's another thing, folks. Some social media platforms don't last forever. If you've been following me the last few months, you know that my Instagram account of 25,000 followers got hacked and deleted. Yet I was still able to do launches without them because I have systems built around my niche and communicating with them that I have all my own customer lists and I can launch anything without social media. But it's good to have. It is good to have. But the nice thing about that is you can be on any platform and still do the same thing. And you want to generate consistent sales and you're willing to invest time, effort, and resources so you learn so that you save money and make more money sooner. And you know how to overcome customer objections and manage problems. That's what successful people do. And successful people have converted email marketing systems and sales funnels that work. Maybe you've taken a stab at creating a sales funnel for your business and it's not quite working. So how do we know this? So success leaves cues. There are proven ways to generate sales in your small business, and you can eliminate guesswork, and it doesn't involve non-sales generating posts on your social media. So now, what is your path? Is success in your future? Well, that depends. You can go about your way and do it yourself, and you can go alone with free random information that may or may not end up good, and you could end up maybe back with where you started, even after thinking you've made progress and circling around a bit. If you have no goals for your business and unlimited cash, then this is not a problem. But for me, when I started my business, I needed to make the most efficient decisions that I needed to. And I have a feeling that you guys want to too. And maybe there's no problem with this, but let's see, if you're looking to build a business and you want solid sales and generating income in a business that you love, then you can fast track your business with proven methods that work. And by learning proven methods, you certainly will reach your goals faster if you're curious about this. I created a whole handmade success system for people who don't want to go the entire handmade business process alone. I personally teach in the academy. If you like me, you're tired of being left out on your own after you start a course and you're isolated and you feel distanced from people, my program is like no other courses out there. You have access to group and one-on-one coaching access. So if you need specific support creating strategies, some students, I've curated product lines, helped people curate their product lines. I've troubleshooted lines that people already have. There is the one-on-one group coaching that comes on a regular weekly basis. So this isn't a program that's loaded with tons of irrelevant information where you're going to get like bogged down over too much info, and it just ends up with information overload and frustration where you're not sure what applies to you anymore. Okay, it gives you a foundation and a direction plus support. So what do you get? Okay, Handmade Sales Success Academy. It builds the business skills that you can use on how to think so you can grow your handmade business on any platform. And I am a huge advocate of teaching people how to fish so they can become feeder of themselves in information and resourcefulness. You will get knowledge systems and learn how to make sales funnels for yourself for any product or service that you provide. And you'll get a real mentor support from me to build the skills and unique matters important to you so you are empowered to build your own success your way in a business that you love with things that you like to do. Take Alicia.
Career has always been a dream of mine, and to do that, I realized I needed effective strategies to help create a consistent income that can help maintain my household. So I researched all over the internet, from Google to YouTube and all the most popular gurus, but the information that I was learning was blanketed techniques for anybody that was running a business. And we're unlike any other businesses out there. We tend to take all the responsibilities upon ourselves, and with all that information out there, it can get confusing. I was confused, and I hit a complete roadblock in my upward growth of my business. As a crocheter, I realized I needed a class that was catered for my needs as a hand maker, and that's exactly what the Handmade Sales Success Academy did. Karen, the maker of this course, is absolutely amazing. She takes all the guesswork out of the entire process. Running a business is not just sitting around and crocheting stuff. That is not how you make money. Karen teaches you how to find the right niche and customer, hiring the correct photographer, hiring crocheters to expand your business, making email lists, navigating Facebook ads, and creating a successful funnel. This has been a life-changing course, and my sales are steadily growing, so I definitely recommend if you take this course.
So that was Alicia's very kind testimonial because she actually always emphasizes that whenever we're online together that she actually paid for the course. She's actually one of my first students, and to this day, like our business relationship has also grown, but she still uses and we bounce off ideas off one another. But at the same time, I learned so much from my students and I learned from you guys. And if there was anything that you found interesting or informative that you would like to ask me about or even know more about, I encourage you to just feel free to book a free call with me and to chat. And some of my students who are in the forums, like Josie, she knows because, well, her and I actually spoke today and we talked about how, it can get confusing out there when there's a ton of information, that there's a lot of information about how to do knit and crochet businesses. And you have to be careful in terms of what you decide to do, because if you're not careful, one, with your niche and also your business objective, you can get swept up into things that draw you away from the original craft. If your love is to crochet and not to be writing, then why would you stop? Not that anything's wrong or different. Some people love writing patterns. Some people love making blogs and just writing, but some people really love making. And I tend to help a lot of product sellers because they want to be making. They want to be making products for people and selling them at a price that works for them and also feeling good about it. So anyway, and if you found that you wanted to sell things, but the only way to make a business out of it is to be a pattern maker or an influencer or a blogger, it doesn't have to be that way. You can love what you're doing by making your product. So anyway, it looks like not too many questions came up during the live, and I'm not on mute, which is good. So I'm going to answer some questions that have come up. Here we go. I've recently been getting a lot of amigurumis because I make a Pikachu for my grandson. I've been making other items such as purses, scarves, hats, baby clothes. Could amigurumi be my niche? I think there's more to it here. Could amigurumi be my niche? Dee Dee. Okay. They're it could be. And you would again, we would need to work a little bit more on the niche process, because I can't emphasize to you how important that step is. Some programs or advisors will kind of glaze over it and then go right into the making, the writing, the pattern making. If you don't have a clear objective, you're not going to be able to know where you're going with your business. Now, Dee Dee, it would make sense if amigurumi is your niche, if you decided that what you want to do is target young people toys, okay? So maybe that's what one of your goal for your business objective. And if that is your young people, like young people toys, then you'd be looking at children between the ages of like, you'd have to ask your question, how old are these children that I'm targeting? Am I targeting their parents to buy these, or am I going for the children? Are these toys heirloom gifts, or are they cuddle toys for bed? Like, how young are these children that you're trying to get them into the hands of? And also, the only interesting caution when it comes to amigurumi too is watch out that you're not violating any licensing agreements, because things like Pokemon and like Marvel, DC, that kind of stuff that a lot of people love, like Hello Kitty, stuff like that. They're licensed things, and small time makers can probably get away with selling a lot of that without getting caught. But if you're making trademarked things and you did get big, it could not be a good thing for you. If you developed your own toys, so maybe like if you decided, okay, I'm going for the ages 3 to 7 years old, cuddle toys that are like this big because they've got to like have a lot of cuddle to them and they smell like lavender or whatever. And so maybe you come up with this niche for young children and then you start to market it. Maybe you develop a line of like farm themed toys or mermaids, and these are your own designs, then you probably won't get into any trouble with like licensing and that sort of thing. So just be careful when it comes to like amigurumi. Okay, now it looks like, so Dee Dee is also in my program. So Dee Dee, all I have to say is don't forget to ask this question again the next time we're in our coaching session, because I would love to really dive into it with you if you'd like to go into amigurumi, because that is an excellent question. And yes, Josie and I worked a little bit on her niche today as well. Let's see here. If you make bags, is that a niche? That is category. What kind of bags too? So are you making shopping bags? Are you making designer handbags? The niche is, see, this is a perfect example. Okay, you make bags. Is your bags designer handbags it's like a clutch that you would take to dinner, or is it a shopping bag that you would take to the grocery store? The niche of these two groups might be two different people. Like if you crochet shopping bags that are hemp, then your niche is environmentally conscious. Like what age group is this niche that are environmentally conscious, want to use reusable bags, care about using natural fibers, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So you're probably looking at like the same kind of crowd that shops at Whole Foods, that recycles everything, that buys from certain types of like ecologically friendly shops and that sort of stuff. The ladies that you're targeting for handbags, whole different group. Okay, there are people who like to go for nice dinners, probably have some sort of corporate association with something. Maybe they are executives or professionals and they have spouses that they have to frequently go to dinner with, or maybe that they go to fine dining things. Maybe they're in the fashion industry. Maybe you're targeting women who finely dress. You're probably targeting the people who shop at like Talbot's, ages 40 to 60, something like that. They shop at like where? Maybe they shop at Anthropology. This is the same demographic. They're professionals. They're in a certain income bracket. Completely different, so for the most part, from your hemp buying families that, or like the people who are like millennial, like let's save the earth and all that sort of, like, not like there's nothing wrong with it, either kinds of groups, but like your niches are different. So when you're talking bags, one, be specific, who are you targeting here? And then which niche, because once you get into the actual part of where you're building your business functions and activities, you go in different directions, because your social media, your advertising, your product descriptions, everything that has to do with building the functions around generating sales and your funnels are going to depend on who is your niche. So need help with that, book a call. So there's that, but I love that example. I totally love it. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I never want to lose my love for crochet either. Like I mentioned, I crochet in my spare time. I make stuff in my spare time for me too. Like when I'm stressed, that's what I do. EJ, uh, oh, you'll catch the replay. Yes, the beginning is quite good, I think, because I'm in it. Okay, okay, let's see here. I love Miss Alicia, and she's one of the people who told me to start a YouTube channel. Oh, good for you. I think I popped onto your YouTube channel too. Let's see here. I'm just going to catch up with some of the uh, or is it grandbabies? Or yeah, or is it grandbabies? Like with the example for the amigurumi, Didi, are you targeting grandbabies? So maybe like this would affect how you might photograph your social media or your advertisements or your lookbooks or your things for like Instagram. Because are you showing a grandma nurturing her grandchild with your toy, or are you showing like a teenager holding a toy they bought themselves? Like totally different niche, right? If it's for young children, you have to niche towards the buyer, which is either the parent or grandparent. If it's teens who are like into anime style toys, then you're looking at a totally different kind of niche that you have to like cater to when you're speaking to them. Yes, Yoda is adorable, especially the little Gru from from Mandalorian. He is so sweet. He reminds me of my pug. But yeah, you got to watch for Disney. Their heads. Yes, Disney will mind if you breach their copyright. You know them. They're like Ma Disney. They know everything. So let's see here. Melanie, my dear, my niche is young adults, 16 to 4. They are pop culture, shop at Spencer's, Hot Topic, FYE, and they want my hats as their fashion statement piece and my clothes care. Girl, you're on. You are on. This girl has done her homework, and she is like, she's doing a lot of research. So Melanie, good for you. Looks like you've been working at this, and I love that. So okay, and it could inform me. Thank you, Dee Dee. I appreciate that. Now we have a question here from Juan. I made blankets from tuition online, and I gave the designer and they gave the designer's name. Is that the right way to do it? Yeah, crediting the designers is great, especially if they preferred that you credit them. Some pattern makers, like you don't have to. Like if you make a red heart pattern and decide to like sell the finished product, it's not necessarily that you're obligated to, especially when it comes to garments, when like you do have to check with your lawyer in terms of like your state federal laws on copyright, trademark, patenting, and that sort of thing. I think I mentioned, like I've in researching, for the most part, when it's a utility garment, like for example the A-line skirt, okay, you could buy a Vogue pattern and make an A-line skirt and then sell it at a market, right? But you don't have like it's and you can make things and sell it as your own brand if it's from a pattern. But if it's a patented design, like for example, like the CCs of Chanel, like you can't stick CCs onto a hat and put Chanel and then well, that is breaching copyright because they own that design, like that printed CC design. What's another thing that you can't copy? Like very, very high end, for example, the Birkin bag. Okay, the Birkin bag is made by like Hermes, and they have a patented pattern for making a Birkin bag in terms of how the leather's cut and it's stitched together. That is theirs. Like you can't touch that. But if you're to crochet a clutch, and you use a pattern where it's not reaching, like it's not a patented trademarked pattern, then like the pattern written is copyright protected, but the physical product you make from it, you don't have like you it's nice to credit the designer for sure, but I mean you don't have to, because you're not like you're allowed to make things and sell them, a physical product from a pattern. I hope that answers a question that always comes up. And my advice to you is, if you're buying a pattern from like an indie seller, from like on Etsy or something like that, and they say you can't use their pattern for selling anything, move on. Like don't tick them off. You know what I mean? Just don't use their pattern. Go to someone else's pattern, like something similar. And then you know what? By the time you're done making what you want to make that looks beautiful to you, I'll bet you anything you changed the pattern already, and it's probably your own design by then. You've probably changed the gauge, you probably changed the type of yarn, you probably changed how many stitches are, like it ends up being your own design for most of the time. That's what always happens to me. I thoroughly intend to make other people's patterns, but by the time I get through part of it, I'm like, you know what? I really prefer making the stitch pattern into a scarf, and then maybe I'll use this. Like I'll take chunks and ideas and that sort of thing, but it never ends up being the same thing. It's usually just all my own. Oh, here we go. Okay. So your niche is your person. Your person. It can be like a person. Yes, like it's kind of like you would for yourself as a practice. It's always helpful to kind of develop an avatar, like an ideal customer that you would speak to. A lot of retail stores do this. Like for example, high-end stores like women's clothing stores like Anthropologie, they'll train their associates to speak to their ideal avatar, like their ideal customer, and she is between the age of this and that, and their family household income is this, and her lifestyle is like this. So it's like an avatar, a person, your ideal person that you would speak to when you create who you're speaking to when it comes to everything about your niche. Yes, good for you. So you could equate it to being, yes, like it is a person. You could create it to be a personification of a character. Like, yes. And let's see here. What about beanies? Miscarrying. What about beanies? Miscarrying. Is that a niche? I'm blind and I'm looking for a unique way to design hats. What about beanies? I'm not quite sure I understand the question. Beanies would be like an item that you're selling. Again, just like Nature Girl said, it's more of like your ideal person that you'd be selling to. So yes, you could start determining your niche by having beanies in mind, but then who are you selling your beanies to? What is the profile, the characterization of the ideal person who's going to be buying? It could even be two people, like if it's a man and a woman kind of thing, like who like hiking or whatever. So beanies is definitely a niche that you could focus, that you could begin your niching process with. Let's see here. Trust me, book a call if you haven't already. Josie, thank you, Josie, you're so sweet. Oh, thank you. And then Dee Dee, yes, Precious Crochet is my happy place too. I never want to lose that as well. Precious makes blankets, throws, scarves, and shawls. I've always given them to nieces, nephews, siblings, and new moms. Very nice. Let's see. Would you ever make a tour of your craft room? I would like to, but I'll admit it's not pretty. This is the only pretty section. The rest of it, not so pretty. So it'd probably be very interesting, but it'd be hard to look at because it's a little bit messy. Like I've got like hanging racks over there. Oh my gosh, yarn. I would do it if I was a little bit more organized, but I'll be honest, I'm a little bit embarrassed how like how ugly it is. I know where everything is, but it's organized chaos, I think. But I will think about it when it looks more or less like this section. Let's see. Yes, made with love, design by. Many times I change it, so mostly put names. Very nice. Yeah. And let's see here. I just want to make sure I caught up with all the questions. There we go. Okay, friends. It looks like that I've gone a little bit over an hour. And honestly, don't be shy. Like if you have questions and you want to learn with me, it's honestly it's a lot of fun. And I like it becomes a lot easier. It's just the one thing is I'm just finding that a lot of information is out there that's deterring people whose first love is making into turning it into something where you're not making and just talking about making. And if that's your jam, cool. But if you want to make and you want to sell a product, there's like there's talk that it doesn't make you any money. That's not true. It does, like it is a lucrative business if you want it to be. I think the direction that you want, like you just have to choose the right ways to go and be efficient about it. No, if it, like in all truth, selling a physical product can be a little bit more like you've got to be able to be up for managing buying supplies, converting them into a finished product, and then doing the marketing that gets it out there. And then if you want to scale, being willing to hire the people to help you. But it is absolutely a lucrative business. So you don't necessarily just have to be a pattern writer or a blogger or a yarn influencer to make money when it comes to like knit and crochet hand making. And I just wanted to let you know that there's direct ways to do it. And I mean, I can show you how if you want. So that's all I can really say about that. Now I'm going to quickly pop into the comments. If you did want to book a call and you don't know where to find the link, I'm going to put it right here for you. And it's also in the chat, and it'll be in the description in below of this this video once it's processed through YouTube. So I hope that I hear from you. And if not, don't be shy to go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you want to support me in other ways because you don't want to go back to like school or do an academy or anything like that, why don't you become a member? I would love that. Yeah, I'll support this channel, keep putting out content for people who are aspiring to make things that they love and turn it into a business. I would really, really love that so you could help our community. Oh my gosh, Dee Dee, you are lovely. Look, you could meet Dee Dee inside the forum. She just joined. I love her. She is just the sweetest, most wonderful lady. Anyway, book a consultation, my friends. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you for a live stream. She has some new alpaca yarn that she has in her hands, and I did send it to her. So I hope she has a fun time this weekend, and I hope you all have a fun time making. Please don't give up on your love of making because it is the best. And it's brought us together as a community, and that's the most important thing too. Okay, so friends, have a healthy, safe, and happy handmaking life. I'll probably be doing some patterns and that sort of stuff too, but don't worry, I'll still have some more like awesome advice and helpful info coming up in future videos. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment below, all that stuff. Okay, and I'll see you all next time. God bless you. Bye, everyone.